Hi everybody, how you all doing? Welcome to another episode of Mixed Mowers and Mower Man. Hope you're all doing well. It's bright and early. In fact, it's only about 20 past 8 in the morning. Been up nice and early, got Riley boy ready for school, and Mrs. P's gone to work. Day to myself. So I thought I'd start down the shed this morning. I've got a few other jobs to do today, but I want to get this one done, or at least started. Today we're going to be working on a Ransomes Ajax mk4, which is a little tiny push cylinder mower. I picked it up, I've had it about a year, I think, something like that, and it's just been sat in the old vintage shed. It's just one of the machines I'd like just to get up and sorted. From what I understand and looked at, it all runs, it cuts, it does everything it should do. So why muck of it? Well, I'd like to do a bit of a full restore on it if I can, get the cylinder sharpened and what have you. Try and find a bottom blade for it if possible. Give it a coat of paint and all tidied up, and somewhere, I think, in the darkest depths of me store, I think it's here, I think this is it, I might be wrong, yeah, this is it. I've actually managed to obtain the proper Ransomes Ajax decal for it as well, for the grass box. And mine has got a decal on it, but it is very poor condition. So we're going to be doing that in this sort of part one, part two. Well, it's not a massive project because there's not a lot to it. But I've not taken one apart before. But what I will say is I have been watching Neil from Fix It and Strip It. He did a Ransomes as well, similar to his. He's got a Mark 10, I believe, but mine is the Ajax. His is another make, and I think he's going to be powder coating his, and I'm just going to be rattle canning mine. But the process is going to be much the same. So I haven't, as of yet, this video is coming out when Neil has just started doing his strip down to his. So we're running alongside, but this video will probably come out about 2-3 months later on, I expect, after Christmas. But it'll be a good little video for you guys if you've got one of these little tiny vintage machines and you want to do them up. Some people would like to have them just oily rag, you know, to just leave them as they are, all sort of rusty and patina or what have you. But I like to make them look quite nice if I can. The paint has been ordered. I've ordered a proper Ransomes green for it. I've also ordered, I think I ordered post box red for the cylinder, and just some normal standard smooth hammerite silver paint for all the grey work. But we'll be taking it apart, stripping it down. That'll be the first part of the video, and then we can start to sand it all down and make it look nice, spray it all up and put it all back together. And it should look quite nice, you know. Whether or not I sell it or not, I have no idea. Now, there are different looks from what I've seen. Some people have had their roller painted grey, some have had them painted green, and some have left them. So I'm not quite sure what the actual unique colour is. I have seen some very old footage of some, and it says that the roller is actually green. So let us know in the comment section, should I paint the roller green, grey, or leave it metal? I want to try and get it back to original if I can. And I do have the original Ransomes green paint coming, which is the enamel one, the same colour I painted my old Ransomes green Ransomes Marquis in. If this is the first time you're watching Mixed Mowers and Mower Man, hit the old subscribe button, whack the old bell, set your notifications to all. That way you'll be told when I've done a video or two more on my Saturday night weekly live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty, and let's bring this Ransomes Ajax mk4 back to life. Right, and here it be. Nice little Ransomes Ajax mk4. I don't even know. I think it's a 12-inch cylinder. I don't think it'd be much more than a 12-inch. Let's have a little look ski. It's going to be about a 12, I'd say. Yeah, 12-inch cylinder. 12-inch cylinder. It's got the original grass box with the original markings of Ajax on it already. And the grass box is not in, you know, for what it is. It's not in too bad a condition. It's a bit bent up in places and a bit battered, but some old boy's been bashing it against a fence, you know. So it's in good condition. It's all there. Looks like someone's had a bit of a spray before, maybe, or a bit of oil on there. I don't know, but looks to be okay. So we're happy with the grass box. That'll just be sanded down and looked after. The rollers, they don't look bad either, you know. They're not worn. I might just try and clean them up. Best put them on a bit of a sander and clean them up. They look pretty good. There's no point in buying new rollers for it. I'll just clean them up. The cylinder itself, it all works, as I say. It all spins, does exactly it should do. And it also cuts as well. It does cut grass. So the cylinder is actually in not bad shape at all. We'll see how we get on just painting them first. If it needs sharpening, when we get it sharpened, but it does actually cut at the moment, but I won't know until I actually get it all taken apart. So the first thing I want to do would be, just to make it a bit more manageable, would be to remove these. Let's put you over here for a change, shall we? Let's put you down here. That's it, let's put you over here. First thing I want to do is remove these bolts. Now I'm missing a bolt already by the looks of it. Someone's had one out, which holds the handlebars on. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts to remove. I'm guessing we're going to be around about the 7/16, something in that line. Bit of penetrating lube going on. Maybe I should have done that last night. Just in all the areas where we're going to be undoing stuff. So let's grab a socket, because I don't want any nuts and bolts to be stripped. So there's 4 bolts here to remove. Can't see what make that actually is. We've got one here to do as well. And that will drop the handle off, and also this back separation plate. I think that's a captive bolt in there by the looks of it. Slightly longer captive bolt goes in the back of that. Got one over here to do as well. Now notice I'm not using an impact, because if we break some of these bolts, they're going to be a little bit tricky to find. Not impossible. It's like I made a comment on one of my videos the other week about, you know, some of these bits stuff really hard to find. Some boys say, oh, they're easy to find the parts. Well, I'm sorry to say, but I have struggled finding parts for some of these bits and pieces in the past. So that will be the handle removed. But we're not finished with that, because I want to also remove the crossbar section, take these apart, you see. So we want to go back onto there again. It's going to be slightly bigger, that is. I want to remove that section, which is like a cross brace, just so we can take those apart, because it needs to be cleaned up, tidied up, and what have you. And do you know what? I think someone might be playing games with me when they put this back together. I think they've been using new money, old money, new money, old money. That feels better. So we've got 2 of these to do, and no doubt they'll be on there pretty tight. That's going to spin as well. Let me just remove this this cylinder mower off of the top. Put that down for a minute. Oh, that's better. So now that the old mower season's actually over, we can now get on and do what I like to do, which is a few restoration videos. I always wait till the winter time to do these. I like to try and earn my money selling mowers during the summer months, and then just coming into winter. Oh, don't you snap on me. I like to do the old restoration videos. Here she comes. let's take a seat, Mick. That's starting to hurt my back already. My table lift is not very high up. That's better. So 1 bar comes out, 2, 3, 4. I might just leave that as is for now, so there's no parts for later on. You've got 2 slightly longer bolts. They went in the back, which is in the back of the ransom plate itself, and 1 bar went into the handle. So I'm missing 1 bolt already. So that's the first part done. Don't know if they're genuine or not, these handlebars, but they do look pretty genuine, don't they? You can buy those. I have seen those before, but they're new old parts. So they will just be sanded. Sanded down. Let me get a magnet tray in, because it's going to be apart for a little while. Just so we know what's going on. Keep all the parts all organised, so we know what's occurring. I'll get the cylinder mower back up. Right. Mower's back up on top. Little tiny flat-headed screwdriver. And that will remove the side casing and expose all the gear cogs. So I think there's about 5 screws to remove from down here. It's like a little tiny alley casting. I don't think it's plastic. Not in those days. So this is around about 1970s, 80s, I think, somewhere in there, the Mark IV. Let us know in the comments section what you think the year of it is. I haven't yet found a date on it, and I haven't found a stamp yet on it either. So there's a gear casing coming off. So there's 4 screws, 4 flathead bolts that hold that on. There's your gear casing. That can go down in the grass box. I'll give you a quick little sneak peek of what the gear casing looks like. So there's your gear casing in all its glory. For references, if you're doing your own one, and it looks like we've got a nut here to take off. That would probably be, these will probably be left-hand threads. I don't know for certain yet. Those nuts should come off, and then that gear should slide out. That'll come out. They should all just slide out. So, as you can see, the teeth are really good condition. Someone has looked after it recently. The grease has been put in there too, so it has been looked after. But we'll get to that gearing section in a little while. See how we get on. I've got a height adjustment rod here to remove as well. Let's put the old Whitworth on there. I don't know if someone's been mucking about here. I need to go a bit easy. I don't want to be stripping nothing out. Well, that seems to be quite a tight little gap to get in there. That feels a bit more like it. So it looks like you need an arraignment of sockets. What's that on there? That's a 1/2 inch. So rather than using an adjustable, let's get a 1/2 inch span on there, shall we? That'll just make my life a little bit easier. No snapping. Now, it always pays when you're doing a little restoration job. It all depends on your memory, how good your memory is. If you're not quite sure where the bits go, then as you take them apart, put them back together so that you know it belongs to that part. And as you are going through the process, when you come back to it later on, you know that those bolts fit on there, and that's the way they went round. That's how I do it, because this could be in the shed for now for 3 or 4 weeks. I've got to wait for the paint to come. And what level was that set to? Let me have a quick little look. 6.5, 6.4, 3.2. It's on level 2 showing, so it's on level 1 cut, just for reference. And what I like to do is play back the videos, you see. God, that's right on there too. I don't think that nut was supposed to design to come out of there. It is though. There you go. So we want that washer on that nut. Put that to one side for now. Turn the machine around. And we've got another one there. And we've got a square nut on here, so it's going to have to be an adjustable, because you're never going to get a socket to fit that. And we've got, it looks like a gutter bolt. So it's a bit of a mix and a match job going on. Let me get a slightly smaller adjustable. It's going to be a bit more wriggle room. That's better. So that height adjustment bar comes out. Mind your fingers. You'll get your fingers caught in that cylinder. So this is what I now do. I'll put that nut back onto there, because we know that that's where that one come from. As I say, it just helps when you come to doing the strip down. When you got to put it back together, sorry. It just helps you out, so you know where your nuts and bolts go. Now that bolt there is actually a little bit too big really to fit in there. Someone's jammed that in there. So I might do a little bit of filing just to help that along when I go put it back together. I can split this roll as well, which I will do. I've got a big flathead bolt there and a square one there, which will separate this lot up here. In fact, it's not on tight. It might even come off. Here you go. Then your rollers come off. There's your spindle, and I'll clean all that up as well. That'll all be greased up and sprayed. The rollers itself, I might just literally just put that onto a drill and spin it, and then just sand them back a touch, and then we'll just give them a coat of varnish or something like that, just to help out. You can get brand new rollers. I have had rollers made before, but they're about 30 to 40 quid to get a set of rollers made up. But we shall see. We shall see how we get on. This little plate here, that should just remove. Little slide back plate, that just comes off. That's handy Harry. How's that fitted there? You need to take the gears off first. Take the gears off so that we can then, there's a chassis bar which holds the chassis true. That won't come off until that bar's come off. So yeah, next we'll go onto these little tiny nuts here, which will go onto cogs or gears, whatever you want to call them. Let me get some gloves on because it's covered in grease, and I'll come back to you in 2 ticks. Right, to remove these gears on here, they should be left-hand threads, I would say, for experience. They generally are on a cylinder. What we got here? This is a Whitworth 5/8 BS9. That goes on there quite well. Now on these rollers, on these Ransomes, they do help you out. They put a little tiny, there it is, a little tiny hole in that cylinder, which will help lock it off. So what you get is you get a little extension bar. Obviously don't choose your favourite one. Get an extension bar, and all you've got to do is just literally put your extension bar in, and that'll help you hold that. And then the left-hand thread, these shouldn't be done up tight, we should see. Hold the bar, and then, oh, that was loose. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, that's left-hand thread. Put it to one side for a minute. I want to double check the difference between the nut sizes and what have you. I'm going to go to do the other one, and then get something with a soft end just to put in, block the cylinder, like so, and then put that one on there. Wow, it's on it. Is that going or not? And that was a normal thread. So left hand thread on that one, normal thread on this one. Okay. And the difference between the two bolts is night and day. Big nut, big cog, little nut, little cog. All right. Right, so I'm guessing it looks like there'll be a little circlip on that one. Will that one come out? First time doing it, so forgive me if I'm going wrong, but that doesn't seem to be nothing holding that on other than that gear there. So we've got a little circlip here to remove. I'm surprised there's a circlip on there, but but there is. So I'm going to get a little tiny screwdriver. And there appears to be some kind of circlip on there. I think it's only just sat on there, so it's more of a spacer. Okay. I would like to think yeah, that's thready. So lift the back of the cylinder up, and then that comes off. Little brass bushing associated with that gear. So that's good. So that one now, that should just slide off, and that goes with the bushing on the outside, not on the front side. Okay. So I'm happy with that. Now what's going on here? This one here, that's going to be a spinner or not? Yeah. So that's actually threaded on there. So that was left-hand thread, wasn't it? Got to figure out how that one comes apart. Right, been mucking about with this a little tiny bit, and I was right. I think it isn't screwed on there at all. But look, if it's just stuck with a bit of tapping, I'm able to tap that shaft in. Okay, because I have removed this bar here. I was able to tap that in, and then it comes off, and it's on a keyway. There you go. So there's no reason why that actually shouldn't have just come straight off of there. Literally just on a little cotter pin. That's all it was. See how it now moves? So that should have just come off. I think just through age, it didn't wanna. It was baffling me. I've got to admit, it nearly beat me. I was just about to give it up and go and get drunk down a pub, but you got to keep going. You can't just defeat it. I always live by the simple theory. Somebody put it together, so therefore somebody can take it apart. That's my theory. That's how I've always lived. Right, so now we're getting a bit closer. That cylinder, still don't want it. So that cylinder must be held in somewhere. I might take that adjuster out in a minute. But that's how you remove the back cog on there anyway. You just got to undo this centre bolt, take that one out, and then give it a bit of a drift and just push that chassis apart so that roller comes apart a bit. So that's how you do that. Right, so to remove the cylinder, bring up your adjusters so they're well clear. And then with a little bit of tapping with a soft blow hammer on this side here, then your side panel will then release. Now it is on a spring load just here. There's a little tiny spring here, you see? And that's why you have to remove this height adjustment here, because that pushes on through onto there, you see? So that's how you do that. So that can be removed. Got a nice little grease nipple on there as well, lovely. So that can be taken out. On here, I should probably leave that bearing on there. But that spring sits under here, and it sits under pressure. Okay, and then that little bolt there is the one that you use to push the height adjustment in. So now we can now remove. You've got a washer that goes on there on the back of that roller. Don't forget that. You've got a little tiny grub screw here to remove. Let me get that undone, if that's going to play ball or not. Yeah, it is. Not the easiest of access. And And I'm guessing once that comes off, that'll be the collar to the actual roller. I don't think you've got to separate these off yet, I don't think. Let's go a bit of a clean up. It might pay just to sand this shaft as well. I would like to have this roller ride out. I was watching Neil's video yesterday. His one is built slightly different to mine. From what I saw of his, when he took his side panel off, the rest of his just fell apart pretty much. Got a big grub screw there. Now I might have to take, there you go, there's a roller, okay, right, so roller's out. What's on the other side of that before we get too far ahead of ourselves? Just another grub screw and a doodad there. We'll come back to the roller in a tick. So we'd like to split that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to go for this bit here because if I try to undo that, I have seen these studs snap before. I have seen that happen, and I really, really don't want to get this far into a project and have an issue. So I may very well just leave that bar in. If it snaps, I've got to tap and die it and all sorts of stuff. So I'm going to remove this height adjuster, slacken that off. And then that'll then free up that part of the cylinder. That's good. I'll have to inspect that bearing later. Got another spring there as well. Bit of crud. It sits in there, get rid of that. A washer on there, yeah, a little washer on there. Good. So as I say, I think I'm going to leave that in there, because if that snaps, I think I'll get a new one of these bars. And I have had problems with these before. They don't like it. Really. Someone's telling me to do it, but I really don't wanna. I really don't wanna. What do you think? Do it or don't do it? Steel and alley, oxidisation. Everything in my rule book is telling me not to. No, it's being left. I'm not doing it. Not that I'm scared of it, but why make work for yourself? I've had problems with that before. I've got a few nuts and bolts there. They went on the back on the bed cut. Let me get a rag, tidy up. I'm back to you in 2 ticks. Right, onto the roller, and looking at this, there seems to be a bit of a knocking noise where this plate is hitting. So I'm guessing these bolts have to come out. Is what I'm surmising. They're tiny. What's that in there? That's 1/2 inch, 7/16 MIC. 7/16 MIC. I think is out. Oh, that's not true. Oh, don't like 7/16. How about a Whitworth though? Yeah, baby. We're getting an extension bar on that. I don't want to go too mad with it, that's a problem. No snapping. Snapping at this point of the exercise would be catastrophic. Good. Get some oil for my chair too, by the sounds of it. So we'll remove that one. I don't know what's inside here. No idea, I'm guessing. Not plate there, look. Take a plate off. Oh, I've got some gearing going on. Oh, hello. Oh, I'll take a quick photograph of that, because that's new. Not seen that before, have we? Quick little photograph of that. Now I'm guessing there's one on the other side as well. There is. So that's just a little ratchet system. So how do we get in there then? Let's take these little tiny bits out, because they're going to get lost anyway, ain't they? If we don't. Let's take them out. I've got a photograph now of how they go, so that's why it's important to take photographs, people. That's interesting. That one's got a little tiny pin on there. The other one didn't have one. I don't think. Alright. I'm guessing that bushing is supposed to drift off. But looking at it, it's been on there a little while. That might have to be heated up. Let's go the other side as well. And we'll remove that. I've got a grub screw to come out of there as well yet. So we've got more of the same in here. This one hasn't been greased for a while, this one. This is all dry. Out you'll come. Now the only thing that's stopping that from coming out, I believe, is that bushing, which I believe to be separate. So I've got to figure out a way somehow of getting that bushing off of that shaft. I don't know if it'll take a tap. Oh, I think it might have done. Oh, that might have done actually. Let's put a bit of stuff on it, just to help it on its way. The reason I say it might have done is it has started to drift out the other side. That's as far as it's going to go there. Right, I've got a bit of movement this side. There it goes. Alright, got a bit of movement here going on. So yeah, that bushing, that's got to come off. That's got to be heated to a degree where I can move that freely. And then that should then just slide straight off of it. There's no circuit to hold it on, nothing at all. It is starting to move. So a bit of cleaning up, a bit of whacking, a bit of heating, and hopefully try and just get this little alley bushing or brass bushing just to slide off of this shaft, and then we should be golden. Right, what I decided to do is actually, with a metal punch, flat punch, just going to hold that onto there. That then releases that little tiny cog there. Is that one free yet? Yeah, that one's free. Oh no, it's not quite. That's got to go all the way through, that is, Mick. So where did that, there must be a little tiny brass bushing still in there. We've got a long way to go, people. I think that's it. It made that funny noise. There's no bushing in there. What I want to do is put that one with that one. That's one that goes into there. We're happy with that. We've got a washer. No, is that a washer? No. So it's not actually a bushing, it's just a tapered shaft on there. So that now can come all the way through. That weird, that weather. Like so. And then we get our punch. Punch that through. There's our other roller. And all I've got to do now is just remove that one from its own shaft, and literally I'll just heat that up, and then I just gently persuade it with a hammerizer. And once it's been cleaned up and tidied, they will slide on there a bit more naturally. So it's been on a little while, so yeah, I might just literally go a bit careful because it is only aluminium, and we'll get it off at a later date. No dramas. Right, so we're over here on the vise. I want to get that other bit off. It's I was just sitting there in the think, and I thought, you know what, let's not muck about. Is that going to turn on me? Oh yeah, here you go. Got them down a couple of times. Yeah, like that. So let's get my old wire wheel. Just to help it along. Let's get a little tiny bit of maintenance lube. Oh, we out. We're out on that one. There's my other one. Oop. A little bit of maintenance lube going on. It likes it. It's funny how it's got like a, it does feel like it wants to stick. There must be a taper there somewhere. Over the years, it's just where's that grub screw? That lines up about there. It might be a tapper job. It came off. The other's got a bit of a taper on it as well. I think that's what's getting caught up on. It's getting caught up on that taper. Just there, the little tiny taper edge there. Look. Jump straight past it then. I don't want to give it too much physics because it is only alley. But sometimes as long as you're gentle, it likes it. Good. No reason why that didn't like that, to be fair, but that'll all be cleaned up now, give it a proper surface. And that one was put into there, so we won't lose that one. So we know which one goes where, and what goes where, and which goes what, and what angle. Angle bedangle. There you go. Good. There you go. Part 1 of the old Ransom Ajax mk4 strip down. It's got a little way to go yet. I'm glad I got the roller apart because that wasn't one thing I was looking forward to doing. So, all stripped down. What I'm now going to do, I'm just going to spend in my own time. It's still only, what time is it? 9:45. I'm going to spend now my next hour down here, literally just with a petrol bath, just bathing all that stuff in petrol, get nice and clean, all grease free and what have you. So we're ready for sanding and then ready for painting. And then I'll bring it back once I've done that and show the preparation of how I'm going through the restore for it. And then we'll go from there. So there you go. If you don't know how to take apart a Ransom Ajax mk4, I'm guessing the Mark 1, 2 and 3 are similar but have their differences. Then that's how I do it. How you do it is up to you. But at least there's now a video for you out there if you do need to take one apart. And then if you keep following the series through, you'll see me painting it all up, tidying it all up, making it look nice and golden, and putting it all back together. So if you get stuck, hang around for the video to how to put it back together. It'll be out in a little while. If you like this episode of Mixed Mowers and Mower Man, hit the old subscribe button, whack the old bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told one, done a video, or two on my Saturday night weekly live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time. I look forward to the next episode of Mixed Mowers very, very soon. But until then, people, don't forget, much more importantly, take it easy.